right, it's 7:05. Let's go ahead and get started. We have a lot to do tonight, so I want to kind of clip it right along. The first thing is a call from any additions to the agenda. Anybody need to add anything to the agenda that I didn't have? Lou? No, you guys?
No, I don't have any.
The other thing that I would like to start with doesn't happen very often, so we'll start with it. Alexa, did you want to do the honors?
Sure.
She
Okay,
gave
we
it to me today.
received a letter from Glenn and Robin Gibson. Dear Jamaica Selectboard, I just wanted to say a big thank you for having our section of Pikes Falls Road professionally swept recently. What a difference. Whoever was hired to do the work did an excellent job, the best ever. Now our section of the road is extremely clean. Looking at large piles of sand collected is a reminder of just how much sand is needed throughout the winter to keep our roads safe. Now, if only we could recycle it all. And the fellows have picked up the extra sand off the sides of the roads,
Yep.
if there was any left.
Nice to hear a compliment to our crew. So it goes to the top of the class. All right, number 2 on the agenda for this evening is to approve the minutes of the April 11th Select Board meeting. They've been passed out and sent electronically. I have only 2 little tiny things. For me, on page 1, paragraph, 6, under public concerns, we should probably respell Lou Bruso's last name.
Oh, yeah.
And
That was a
Did you pick
typo.
that up?
just a tiny little thing. And then on the second page in the middle, a date to be set for the revote. Another little typo, but nothing serious. Everything else I found looked pretty good. Anybody have any other additions?
Yeah,
Deletions?
one, again, a very tiny thing, in paragraph, I guess it's the next to the last paragraph on the first page. It says, to replace the culverts near Forester Road off West Jamaica Road. I would say along West Jamaica Road, because it's actually on the road, not, it's underneath the road.
Okay, so you'd like to use on?
Along,
Along?
or something of that nature.
I wouldn't say on, because we're really going over it.
Okay, on.
Okay, sure, we can do that. Any other corrections, additions? Thank Alexa for getting pressed into service at the last minute. You did a great job. Thank you very much. If I have no corrections, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of April 11th Select Board meeting?
So,
Second. And a second, I have any further questions? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay? None? Hearing none? They will pass. The next kind of housekeeping business, approve the timesheets for town offices, listers, highway, and transfer station, and we will sign the select board orders. Another really quick business piece. It says on your agenda to adopt the 2016 LEOP. LEOP stands for Local Emergency Operations Plan that must be accomplished and sent in before the 1st of May. It has to happen between the town meeting and then the 1st of May in case there's any changes, additions. The only change in this one is a few, my job title changed, among other things, but not much else changed, except we are now adding pets. The new state LEOP has information for pets, for emergencies. Where do you take them? There's a whole sheet I have to fill out about emergencies for pets. As you may recall, we had people who did not want to leave their abodes back in Irene because they don't want to leave their animals with them. We made a pretty good effort to bring the animals in. Got a lot of them down, as you recall, including Parrot. Yeah. But anyway, so we're becoming a little bit more forthcoming with planning these things, and that's about the only change. So I did not make copies for everything because it's basically the same, except my title's changed. I would entertain a motion to adopt the local emergency operations plan.
Make a motion to adopt the LEOP 2016 plan.
I'll second it.
Having motioned and seconded, any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
No? Okay. Pass. This is for those of you who do this. I do this every year. It's just a routine. Make sure after the town meeting that there's no name changes or title changes or other kinds of changes that might be important. Oh, hi, good. Just in time for the important stuff. The next item on the agenda is a request from Laura Hazard from the Jamaica Village School. Laura?
Sure, I wrote a letter, did you receive
I
that?
do. You want to read it to the? Sure.
Sure.
The letter came from Laura. It says, Dear Jamaica Selectboard, as you may know, I held a meeting with the Vermont State Police, Wyndham County Sheriff's Department, Rescue Inc., and Jamaica's Emergency Management Coordinator and Select Person Paul Fraser on Wednesday, April 5th, to discuss Jamaica Village Schools Crisis Emergency Response Plan. During our conversation, it was recommended that a Knox box be held and installed at the school so that emergency personnel could gain immediate access to the school should a need arise. I learned that a Knox box can only be ordered via the town select board. Therefore, I'm writing to request that a Knox box be ordered for Jamaica Village School. Enclosed, you will find a price sheet. I believe the 3200 model is appropriate. Paul suggested there may be funding in Jamaica's emergency management account. If not, Jamaica Village School will incur the expense of the Knox box installation. Please let me know if you need further information prior to making your decision. Thank you for your continued support. Those of you who don't know what a Knox box is, basically it's a box. Knox is K-N-O-X, it's the brand, I suppose, for a key. And this is going to help us if we have to get into the facility in an emergency.
Right.
Since you and I talked, I've reviewed the budget with Terry. I don't have anything left, so
Okay,
I can't be of much help.
okay, but the town still has to order it, we can't order our own.
Yeah, it's got to be done because the way the Knox box situation has to be ordered by the town.
It seems to me that if the select board needs to order it, the select board ought to pay for it. So I think we can find money elsewhere in our budget to pay for that.
How much is it?
32.
300 something, depends on the model you choose, but I don't think we need anything more than the 3200 model, so it's like 320, 350 if I recall.
Yeah, between 308 and 324 for the surface. We don't want to recess, we want the surface box. Yeah, so it's between 308 and 324.
Can't they come out of the general fund?
Right, I mean, a budget is only a tool.
Right.
Well, this is an unbudgeted item because it's something,
Right.
do you want to explain what the crisis teams are about?
Sure, so we're a committee that meets to develop a safety plan for the school, given various potential situations that may arise. And right now, we have keys that are housed at the firehouse, but the recommendation is to have at all schools a Knox box, and this is not Jamaica Village School, but all schools in our supervisory unit. I know Brattleboro has the same, so that emergency personnel can access the school immediately. And so we will be meeting regularly to fine tune our plan in conjunction with our supervisory union's plan.
Having the key at the fire department works only good if the fire department gets there before the police. And in a case of an emergency, whoever gets there first needs to be able to get in. And so therefore, we'd like to have a possible emergency personnel to get there quicker.
So if it's, I mean, it's not a budgeted item for the school either, but we will incur that expense just because we think that it is necessary, and it's only, a few $100s.
So how much money is in emergency management?
I talked to Terry and I don't remember, I asked her if I had anything left and she shook her head at me.
There's gotta be some left.
Maybe there's some left.
There should be enough left.
If it's not taken out of the emergency management.
I think there's enough
If we
left.
can find, if not, we'll find
Yeah,
another.
I believe there's enough
We have
left
a
in
lot of
that account.
miscellaneous accounts.
Right.
Okay.
And I believe there's enough left in that account.
I think it's a necessity.
Okay, in order to spend money, we need a motion.
I'll make that motion to spend the money for the Knox box.
Box. Second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Passed.
Thank you.
And there's some variations on the price thing. We can talk later about the specifics, but it'll be between 308 and 324.
Yeah, we don't need anything.
Yeah. And there may be a municipal discount. If we beg and cry and plead,
Could be.
we'll back with you. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the library request for money to help them with their bathroom project. Is there anyone here to speak for the library? Hi, Mr. Library spokesperson.
Hey, so can we have some money?
Sure.
All right, thank you, good night. This has been a long-going project. Back around 1992, there was a composting toilet that was put into the back of the facility in the old area that was the outhouse, and it was never utilized. For the past, 25 years that I've been in town, we've been either using by the good graces of the church, their bathroom, or across the way to 3 Mountain Inn also, but mostly the church. So when we had the foundation replaced back in 2008 and had a full basement put in, it became possible for us to look at some type of plumbing in the far wing, which had been crumbling into the ground, but since we reinforced the floor there, we're up to spec. And what we'd like to do now is that bottom room is sequestered off so we can heat it, therefore keeping the plumbing warm through all weather. And we're going to have Coda come in and put in a heater in that room, and then move on to looking into putting the plumbing in for a bathroom, which will be handicap accessible and all up to federal and state standards, which would be nice because then we could stay in building. And when you have a lot of kids coming up from the school using the library, it's even more convenient to have a toilet in-house, so to say. So at this point in the process, we are looking at, we sent in a request, which the bottom line of, it's like $7,327, which would get us through the permitting issues, installation, plumbing, the room, getting the heating in, getting the electrical done, and then moving towards having a tie-in with the church's water system, and then having a tank installed outside in front of the library. It will not be a septic, it will be a pump tank. So I'm not sure what size that is. Michael Marquis has been the man who's been doing work for us on all the engineering, so he'll bring it all up to spec for us. So this $7,300 and some odd is to move into this next phase of having the bathroom installed.
I have a question. The facility will be downstairs?
No, it'll be upstairs.
Oh, gotcha. Because I thought, wow, that's
No,
not accessible.
precisely. And so it'll be in the far wing. We'll be taking out several old walls in that far wing to the left, which will allow us to cordon off a wheelchair accessible bathroom on that floor. Any questions?
So you won't be going down the hallway anymore?
No,
Okay.
no, it's
You'll be
right there,
off
that
the
ramp
room?
on the left. That is where we're looking to move our main entrance to,
Okay.
getting a wider door there. And then if you go straight through there, you'd go straight, if you need to the bathroom.
Okay, the bathroom will be in the same spot where that composting one.
No,
that's
no,
gonna be
it's in
gone.
the far wing on the
Okay, so
left of the
that whole
building.
thing is
Closest, the
gone.
corner closest to the church.
Right.
Okay, so that's
That
all
back
gone, that
To
other
keep
one.
everything
That other
close to the
toilet
water
is out of
source.
there.
Yeah,
Okay, and what are you gonna do with that space? Just,
It's gonna be open space, we're gonna have that whole upstairs by the new stairs that goes down, we built to go downstairs to the children's room. It's gonna be one big open room to be able to utilize for the adult and expand
right. In the future, what we'd like to do is move the children's section downstairs.
downstairs.
And then have the entire upstairs section for adult, but also expand the
Computers.
computer space in
Yeah.
particular, because right now it's very cramped where it is.
the 7,200, 70.
73 some odd, yeah.
7327. Will that give you enough money to finish that bathroom? So that you
It'll
can-
get it up to, yes,
That and volunteer work,
right.
Right.
along with volunteer supplies, lumber, volunteer labor, will help us get there. Otherwise, we worked at grants, and we're sort of running out of our grant money that's been specific for the bathroom.
Right, there wasn't really one.
We didn't get a lot, no, we didn't get a lot, but we just keep adding on to it every year and applying for the same grants, and it's taken us a long time to get this poor
It's
bathroom.
not a real grant grabber,
No, no,
putting in a toilet.
Right,
No.
right. I don't think it's
keep
necessary.
trying to reword it.
Well,
Yes.
My recollection was that there was some electrical work also that needed to be done. Does this 7,300 include that
Yes,
electrical
it
work?
does. So that we can tie in with the new propane heater in the basement and also tie in all the electrical in the new room for the bathroom.
Now, will that set up the electrical for the whole downstairs? Or
It will begin that process so we can easily tap in. And at this point, with volunteer help, we'll be able to pull wires ourselves, leave it open until we need and have money to finish the completion of the actual connection of the electricals.
The electrician has allowed us to
Right,
do that,
to pull.
to pull it on our own and to set it all
So we can
up.
finish walls and do
Right.
insulation.
That's
And
good.
then he
And
checks
the
it
walls
and
are still
then,
open for that?
yep,
Right.
yep, and then he checks it and then he does the final whatever, but we
So
have,
we're trying to step
we
it
have
out.
two suckers that we've got to do it separately.
Very effective suckers, I must say.
We've
Let me just answer your
done
question.
well with that, let's
Very
put it that way.
Was to make sure that it's getting done codes.
Well, oh, it is, totally, but they've
Yeah.
allowed us to do that so that we won't have to take his, hourly rate
Sure.
and do all the pulling when these two gentlemen have both done it in their homes. And he just signs off on it and makes sure it's done right, and then we can seal it up.
Right.
Any other? I have a monkey wrench. I'm the bad guy.
That's your job.
Well, here's the catch. I was going over these kinds of things, and I don't know the prices all that much. I don't know how these things combine. But it's a municipal building, and we generically think we should be taking care of municipal buildings. Having said that, we need to go through the purchasing hoops to make sure that we follow our purchasing policy. That means under this amount, we need 3 bids for those kinds of things.
I get what you're saying, but part of this, we've already contracted and paid through grant, so some of it is bumped into what we've already covered through a grant. We can have him redo it, because I do get the 3,
Yeah.
but because it's an add-on to what he's doing to continue this,
My thinking as I read this, and I want some other input from the rest of the board, it's tricky because it's a combination of grants, volunteer, and following our stupid policies. But I'm thinking about maybe the specifics would be the equipment. If there's a particular piece of equipment or something along those lines that can be, all we need is three phone calls. We don't need to go for bids. We don't have to go to the newspapers. We just have to get 3 prices. If maybe that would be sort of sufficient
that's easy.
to meet the town policies, as well as the reality of trying to get it done reasonably and taking advantage of your obviously good begging connections.
But it seems like each one of these it's not just one person doing it.
It's a combination.
So it really doesn't amount to like $5,000 where we have to get, like say the heater's 2,500?
With the installation.
What is a rent, tell me something about that heater.
It's a
Right
type
now.
of efficiency heater. Right now, the heaters that are in use in the library are probably Reagan administration or before that.
Mhm.
So we're going back 30, 35, maybe
They
40
were.
years. So what we're trying to do is bring them up in efficiency. Also, they're wall vented as opposed to having a chimney, which the older ones we've had to use. So it's just an upgrade in the technology.
And so it cuts out some chimney
The
expenses.
chimney, we can go right through the wall as opposed to having to have a chimney, which the other ones do.
So the heater's is $2,500 and that includes installation too?
Right.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
Yeah, as I was going through this, it was very thorough, your proposal, but I got a little confused. Because a couple of places looked like the same numbers repeated, and I just want to make sure we have a sense of what's happening. Do you guys produce like a yearly budget or yearly financial statement at all?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if,
It's usually the town report.
is there a town report this year? The whole thing, that's good. What I have not got in the town report, I just want to make sure that we're in compliance with our policies, as well as take advantage of what you guys have been able to do. Because clearly this is a town building, but just as clearly you guys are doing a great job making it work.
Well, it's been a very wildebeest type of situation over the years, because in 1923, the town voted $25 to support the library, and also had the vote to institute the first 5 members of the board. So it is a municipal library, but it's really run, got cattywampus with some supporting at times and more than
Can you
others
spell that?
from the town. It's cattywampus. Look it up. Don't ask a dyslexic. I just use big words. I don't spell it. So when we came forward and town took over the building physical through all the legal means that we had to go through, this is a shift for us too. But we've been running under the necessity of being publicly elected to serve on the board and also get town funding. So it's been a very jerry-rigged situation. We're bringing it up to speed now after 90 years.
Okay.
So we get all the joys of all that backlog.
Sadly, you waited this long, we have all kinds of rules and regulations we have to
Right.
follow. But we will do that. We will certainly make sure everything is.
Oh, yeah, no, and we need to be informed by, I've been on the board for maybe 15 years, and we've run a certain way. Now there's a new way to run, and you folks need to really let us know how to run,
Sure.
so that we're clear on what our responsibilities are, but what we're beholden to follow through with what your needs are.
Right, the trustees usually just take care of the librarian itself, ordering
Yeah.
the books and making sure that's running properly. The town, we would be responsible for the building. It obviously needs a new bathroom. I mean, it
Right.
definitely needs a new bathroom. I think we should look into our finances, we have a little bit, to see if, what we have available, what we can help the library. Go ahead.
I think this falls under our building reserve account as opposed to our general fund.
Okay.
It seems to me that, that we're making a capital improvement in a building as opposed to just routine maintenance. So I would recommend that we take the 7,300 and whatever the change was and take it out of our building reserve fund.
Because we do have money in there, we have enough for it.
Yeah,
Would you like to put that in the form of a motion?
I will do that in form of a motion. I move that the sum of
7327.
$7,327 be allocated to the library for the capital improvement of the bathroom and electric and other needs from our building reserve fund.
I second
I have a second. Any other discussion?
Do you still have to get 2 more RFPs?
Yes, I think we still go back to the policy.
Right.
that. I have a
But it is
question.
7,000?
Yeah, but that's
Can
for
change.
different. that's
Yeah,
not-
if you see the document that we forwarded to you, it's
I'm just
under
wondering.
subsection I, that's everything that would be covered by the amount that Lou has proposed.
I have a question about that, the 3 bid.
I'm sorry.
My question is, I thought, is there not a rule that anything under 10,000 expenditure does not require a 3 bid? Am I right or wrong
Well,
about
the
that?
way it reads, between 500 and 5,000 telephone bids, just doing some checking is all that's needed. So we can do that, I think, the way this works out pretty good. I've got the policy here tonight, if we want to parse it. But I think with the motion on the table, the question has come about whether this is a no greater than figure or ballpark.
Well, it sounded like some of it's definitely 7,000 change.
Right.
So it's like gonna be under 5,000 for some reason. There's not.
Well,
Okay.
although if it was one contractor doing all the work at 7,300,
Then we do.
then it would fall under the 7,300 limit. But given the fact that there were smaller increments,
That's what I'm kind of.
yeah.
Yes,
I
that's a
don't
big piece.
think-
There's the electrical, there's the propane, each person has their individual specialty that they're licensed for, and we can only go through that individual to have that section done. Electrical guy cannot hook up our propane.
So a general contractor would not come in and do it all?
Correct. We're kind of the general contractors trying to keep
Right.
track.
It really isn't 7. I know that's a dollar amount, but it isn't. Doesn't it really fall under the 5,000 where they wouldn't have to
Yeah,
get the
each one.
RFPs?
For example, 1,500 electrical work, 1,500 to install what kind of heater? Renee?
The Renee, yeah.
Heater, 900 something for installation of insulation. So each thing is broken down. The most expensive, I guess, would be 3,000, 1,215 for materials and equipment.
Correct.
Right, that's what I said earlier, because they are all separate from different,
Yeah.
it's not just one contractor saying it's gonna be $7,500.
So
It's different,
If I
different
might,
people, and I think we should be able to.
I think we'll be able to,
Just
if
go
I
with
may,
what they're doing.
reading from the procurement policy, regular purchase, this is, which is between $500 and $10,000.
I thought it was 10,000.
Between 5 and 10. Regular purchases must be accomplished through competitive solicitation, but not necessarily through formal bids. Hence, you make a few phone calls to find out what it costs,
Which we can do.
which
So
isn't a good.
Which we have been
And in
doing.
doing that, it will
We
parse things
have
down.
been, right.
You just need a record. of it.
Exactly.
Correct. Okay.
That's exactly
Probably
it.
has.
We can do
And
that.
then that will keep us in compliance with the policy.
Mhm. Then we will do that.
And how much money is in the building reserve fund?
I don't have that figure on top of my
I don't
head.
have it on top, I think it's in the 50 or 60,000 range in my recollection.
Right, I think it's 50-something thousand.
That's the fund that we put together for emergencies, and speaking as a gentleman of years, a bathroom can be an emergency.
Yes, indeed.
So, any more other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, it passes.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch. As you need information, let us know and we'll provide it.
Well, let's talk tomorrow or the next day, whenever you get free, we'll go through this piece at a
Good.
time.
I can do that.
Okay, thank you very
I
much.
would like to just thank the volunteers. I mean, I've watched what's been going on in the last 8 or 10 years, and it's incredible the amount of volunteer work that's put in, so I'd like to recognize that.
Bathrooms don't usually cost only $7,000. They're expensive.
Yeah.
Not a grunt labor, but a volunteer.
Yep. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
But that doesn't mean you only get to come here when you're asking for money.
Should I say
I'll talk to you
All
later.
right, moving on to the next item on the agenda. We received, this is discuss town's response to the Rutland Town Resolution regarding increasing the input of Vermont municipalities to the PSB Public Service Board regarding the siting of renewable energy projects. We got a letter from the Solar Resolution, what's their official title? They must have one.
I read this thing about 10 times.
Yeah. What's happening is there's a group of people in Rutland, hence the phrase the Rutland Town Resolution. Nice thing about emails is they're easy. The bad thing about emails is they don't always have names. But at any rate, what's happening throughout the state is there's a resolution to increase the input of Vermont municipalities regarding the siting of renewable energy projects in certificate of public good proceedings before the Public Service Board. Without going through all the details, what's happening is whereas the General Assembly has set aggressive goals for the development of renewable energy in Vermont, I'll give this to Pam, you don't need it right now, the sheet. Whereas, as a result of these aggressive goals, the number of certificate of public good applications before the Public Service Board has increased substantially. So the idea is for the towns to be able to have more input into the PSBs regarding the siting of these kinds of facilities. Now, we are not listed in this particular project, the town is not, but we're being requested as a global, statewide movement to get the Public Service Board to listen to the communities, specifically around these items. Thinking about it, Pam and I have talked about it, did some research on it. It seems to me like a good idea to do that. And so I would offer that as an option for the board to consider. Therefore, at the end, it is resolved by the undersigned Vermont municipalities to instruct their state representatives and senators to develop amendments to the statutes that concern the siting and approval of renewable energy projects and to the procedures of the PSB in order to ensure that Vermont municipalities have a more meaningful role in the CPG process and to require compliance with appropriately developed municipal standards. I would entertain a motion to have the chair endorse this for the city, for the town of Jamaica.
Second.
Do I have any other discussions on this? Is that do you know what we're talking about?
Yes.
Before I sent it around, everybody had a chance to look at it, so.
The only discussion I would add to that is the Wyndham Regional Commission does participate heavily in the CPG processes.
Okay.
So we generally rely on them to actually advocate for the towns, but I think it's a good idea to get a little bit more input than that.
The only other discussion I have, as you may recall, wasn't terribly long ago, a gentleman made a presentation about a solar farm up on Route 100. And he made a nice presentation, it was very informative. He wasn't required to do that. But they were interested in. Okay, we have, for the discussion, do we have, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, it will pass. And the chair will endorse that tomorrow. What happened to those sheets?
We got him.
You got them?
Alexa took him.
Oh, that's a different.
No, the one's got him.
I'm gonna pass that down here if you want to, because that's the part that's important. Yep. The next item is discuss the relationship between the Jamaica Arts Council and the town hall, specifically regarding the cost of renting, cleanup costs, and scheduling. And I think, Judy, you've been involved with this from the beginning.
Yes, actually, David, you want to kind of move up front so we can kind of communicate a little bit better? Okay, you're happy there. To let you, last time we had a meeting, I had talked about the fact that the Arts Council was becoming quite involved, and that we were looking into our, how we go about signing people up to use the town hall and the rental agreement that we had. And I also brought up the whole idea of having a liability insurance involved with the people who use the town hall, so that the town is not held responsible if something happens during whatever program is being presented, a concert or a party or something like that. And that the Vermont League of Cities and Towns were very, very much highly recommending that we insist that the people who are doing the renting carry liability insurance. And I wanted to let you guys here have a piece of that. It's an explanation of VLCT and why they believe that it's important. And I've done some homework to find out exactly how this system would work. And with David here being, I guess you're the chair of that council?
Yes.
Okay. The town and your group need to work together about this, and you and I had met to talk a little bit about several things. How we would go about putting the calendar up, what the different costs would be, how this insurance would be secured, and that kind of thing. So what I also went into VLCT, and they're very, very helpful if anybody wants to go into their website to see. Actually, they send out 2 model facility agreements, and which are much more elaborate than the one that we have, which I thought was pretty elaborate. So I'm not ready to bring the model up. I think for now, I think we need to go with this, but there are a couple of additions that I would like to add. What the insurance would cost for the renter, and that's what you and the board have to figure out, whether you would be paying the liability rental insurance for the group that you would be sponsoring, or whether the group itself would be paying that insurance. Personally, I think that the group that's going to be using the town hall really needs to be the one to secure the insurance and not you as agent for them. And that would be, they can go to VLCT, which is what I had talked about. Well, you can have that, I know what it says. And the company that they are working with is called Tula, which is,
Tenant user liability insurance.
and the group would secure the insurance, and the town would need a certificate of insurance. And obviously, it's to protect the town from any kind of injury that would be occurring. It would be for a single event. The cost for 1 million would be $77. And if any kind, if we would, I don't know if we allow liquor. Do we allow liquor into the town hall? If there are parties, does anybody know that answer?
That has been the tradition, yes.
Okay, so then that would increase the amount per event. And I don't
Would
know those
increase the
numbers.
premium, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the premium, yes.
What was the you mentioned 77?
77 for,
Per million.
yes, for the liability of 1 million. And so one of the things that we would have to find out is exactly what would be the type of event that would be going in. And then what VLCT is suggesting is that the people who are renting actually secure their own insurance. And in fact, they even have a card that we can keep to give to the people who are renting. Now, whether or not that would be your role as the agent, or whether it would, for the groups that you're bringing in, we would have to do it with people who are having birthday parties and things like that. We would handle that. But they would get the insurance, and we would need a certificate before they would be allowed into the town hall to use that. And basically it's to cover the town. So that's the one thing I would like us, if the board is willing tonight, is to vote on that, because there are many events that are starting up, I think in June. Well, actually our town clerk is here and she's the signer-upper. What?
It's on the calendar. I
You
don't know off
have
the top of my
any
head.
idea?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
Our first
Coming
event
up.
is June 4th.
So
Oh,
that's it
okay,
right there.
I don't
so,
know if anybody
No one
is,
else.
which is my question. So this is going to be required of anybody, any group, private or public or whatever, that uses the town hall.
well, that's what I think that the
Like
board
required?
needs too.
Anything that's not a
Yeah.
municipality.
Yeah,
It would be required, there would be no option to
no
opt out.
options,
Really?
yes.
The insurance part is a
Yes.
requirement.
Unless you're a part of the town, like for example, a school.
It's not-
Yes.
It
When they
doesn't
do
belong to the
their-
Right.
municipality.
Yeah,
Anybody
that would
extra
fall on
municipality.
us, or town meeting, that kind of thing. And we do have birthday parties, we have weddings and things like that, but they would be required to do that, because that would not be a town event as such.
What about Jamaica Old Home Days?
What are your thoughts about that?
Do we
We
fund?
do get,
Jamaica Full Home Day is
we
funded.
do get to make, we
Yeah.
do
Do we
get
sponsor that?
insurance for that day
Oh,
through
okay.
VLCT.
Oh, okay, so we get that ourselves? or-
Yes, the
Okay.
town, we do that.
And I also found out, and I had brought that up the last time, is that people using it for, let's say, one of you are gonna have a birthday party, the big bash, and you have homeowner's insurance. You can go to your homeowner's insurer and ask them to insure you as the person that is doing the renting, and it would be covered. So I cleared that with VLCT, and that is absolutely true. They can do that. but for different,
But that's a private
yes,
individual that
Yes.
wouldn't apply to our organization.
yeah, correct.
Any organization per se that wanted to rent the town hall.
You're right, Dave.
Yeah,
Is that right? Okay.
yeah. Well, basically, if you've got if it's a private party and you have homeowners insurance, you check with them if you're covered under that.
Right.
To protect us,
Yes.
we need a certificate of liability
Yeah.
stating, naming us.
Yes,
And then-
and part of what would be on that agreement is the naming of it. And then we would also have to have that policy certification before we use that. So that's number one that I would really like to have some kind of a vote tonight on. The second one is I'd also like to raise, and I brought this up last week, or last time we met, I would also like to raise the amount of cleaning deposits from $100 to $150. And of course, if it's done well by the people who are occupying the town hall, then they can receive that money back. The other thing that is a deposit that's written on our rental agreement is a damage deposit of $200. And that would go back if there were no damage. Okay?
Can I ask you a question? How does that compare to the other models that you had?
This one is quite complicated. This one is for, if it's more than one night. In other words, it has certain dates on it. And this one, it would be like for a one-nighter. And it has a lot of the stuff that we are talking about, the indemnification and assignment, cancellation, so forth.
Do they talk about the fees? These
No,
are all localized.
yeah, yeah, and that's what we're doing. So, I think if we wanted to, we could change this, but I think we need to get the insurance going now, so that people know when when they're starting to make their reservations, that we have, that they have that information, that they've got to get that stuff going.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So you're saying it's like about $77 for the insurance, and then what do they pay, $25 for a resident to use it for one day?
I haven't gotten to that yet.
Okay, you're gonna get there.
I'm
Well,
gonna
right
talk
now I
about
think it's 25.
Yes.
And then 150 you would want to increase it to, and then 200. So that would be like $450 that people would have to come up with to rent the town hall for a day.
There.
They'd get
Wait,
350
let me
back.
finish
Okay, sorry.
before you get to that.
Okay, I was
Okay.
just wondering.
The other thing that she's bringing up is the cost. And Terry and I, again, had talked about leaving the rates the same per day. And that would be for a public event, $25, and that would be for the resident and taxpayer. Now, the reason why we're using taxpayer is because we have so many second homeowners. And leaving at the same, a non-resident and a non-taxpayer obviously would be $50 a day. So the costs would be, as it stands, pretty much what it says right here that we have been charging. And the cost would be $150 for the cleaning deposit and $200 for the damage deposit. And that would be the same for, if I had a big birthday party there, okay? And I would only pay for that one night, for the private event, so I'd pay $50 for that rent.
Gotcha.
That's the same, okay? And I gave you all a copy of this last week, which is the one that we're working on now. So, do you want me to move these things separately, or do you want me to put them all together?
Yeah, let's separate them because they kind of, I would like to see the insurance thing done immediately, as you suggested. And I think we need to get the fees done tonight. I think I'd like to have some time to look those
Yes,
over.
and that's why I made copies.
Gotcha. So,
Yeah.
so let's entertain a motion regarding, now, this is going to be tricky because I'm not sure how you want it phrased, to adopt the VLCT.
No, they can find their own insurance
Okay,
company.
so you just want to say,
We can offer this as an option for them to go that route if they wish to do that.
so how should we form the motion?
Okay, I move that the town of Jamaica require liability insurance for renters of the town hall, and that the liability insurance will be, what's the word I'm looking for? Obtained by the renter, either through VLCT or their own homeowner's policy or an insurance company. And that a certificate is required for occupancy of the town hall, showing that that liability insurance is in place before the event can take place.
Okay, let's give Pam time.
I have a question.
Your name, please?
I'm sorry, a point of order, you can't have discussion until there's been a second.
Oh, hold that thought. Is that good, Pam? Can you repeat, can you read that? You got it
You
all?
want me to read it all?
Just to be sure we're all on the same part.
Judy moves that the town of Jamaica require liability insurance for renters of the town hall, and that liability insurance will be obtained by the renter through VLCT or their own homeowner's insurance policy or any other insurance company, and that the insurance certificate is required, showing that insurance is in place before the event.
Excellent.
Very good, I'll second that.
And we've had a second, any discussion? And for the, describe your name.
I think that it should be
Your name, please?
modified.
Your name?
My name is Joel Betts.
For the record, thank you.
I think that your motion should be modified to specify a specific amount, minimum of $500,000 or minimum of $1 million, because liability insurance you can buy at any rate, but you're not asking for a specific amount.
I thought that it was 1 million.
Yeah, but you didn't
Say
specify
another
the
million.
motion.
Oh, I
Motion.
didn't. Oh, okay. I didn't say that, okay.
Sorry, Judy.
That's a very good point, because you're right, it can go.
Yeah.
So as a seconder, I'll read it.
But I would, shall we
Yeah,
just,
I'll take that as a friendly amendment.
they're all friendly amendments. Go ahead.
I'd like to ask David, though, how that would work for the Arts Council, so, because I'm not quite sure exactly how that Arts Council interaction is going to work.
I don't
With
know
this
that
vote.
relationship, that's why I wanted him to
Well,
be here tonight.
we're just going to be an organization that rents the town hall. I mean, we could rent the Win Hall Town Hall, or we could
So-
rent.
So your organization would rent the hall, and then you would obtain the insurance. Okay. I'm curious as to whether VLCT might have some kind of rate that they might have for this particular organization, since they would be renting this hall multiple times during the course of a year. Whether they might say, well, normally it's $77 for one event, but, you know, for a multi-event, they might reduce the amount.
Well, that is certainly something we're going to be
Yeah.
looking into. I mean,
Yeah, and
We
that's,
will also have insurance, we have to have insurance for our board also. Because if we rented the town hall as an organization and something happened, we can be sued individually.
So
You can be sued as a town, we can be sued individually. So we will have insurance in place to protect ourselves.
So from a,
This is
not from
separate, this is an
VLCT,
insurance, this will be a certificate of insurance to protect the town of Jamaica.
right.
Mhm.
Would you find it awkward or not possible to have, for example, you're gonna put on a music event, have the music event, whoever's running that particular, whatever band or company or whatever it is that's doing that, insure themselves or get insurance for themselves? Was that awkward?
I don't know. I would think that,
I ran bars and stuff with bands for a long time, and generally the way that works, instead of hitting people for less than nickel and dime, you just roll that cost right into the rental of the place. You know what I'm saying? If it costs you $77 a night.
So your cost would then be rolled into whatever it is.
yeah, I don't think it's the responsibility of the band, because they're not renting the hall. Their name is not gonna be on the rental agreement. All the rental agreement will say that Jamaica Community Arts Council is renting the town hall on this date, this date, this date, and this date. What we do in the hall is our responsibility. So I don't see it whereas it's the band's responsibility to provide liability insurance because they're not renting the hall. Their name's not gonna be on the rental agreement.
Will there come a time when an organization might want to put something on and go through you?
Right.
Like a band could want to put on a program or a play or something, and then go through you and say, you're the contact, we'd like to rent this building as a for-profit entertainment venue. Go through you, and then you would just pass it on, or would you
At that
expect
point,
them?
that would be then one of the agreements for them to get, that we would relay to them, that if you want to rent the town hall, you have to provide a certificate of insurance.
Right.
David, how does this compare to Win Hall?
I don't know.
Is this fee gonna eliminate you from renting this and
No,
enticing you to
no,
go somewhere else because of fees? This is
I don't
why-
know. It's just gonna be a cost of doing business, basically.
You mentioned doing it in Win Hall, and I know they have a big
Well, I just-
facility as well, so
yeah.
I didn't know if you had price comparison that you were looking at.
No,
too.
I'm not looking at using other facilities. I was just using that as an example. If we wanted to rent,
Jamaica Arts Council was gonna hold an event in Winhall. That makes a lot of sense.
but
Well, it does if they
so-
came
have
up with
to change the name.
$450.
I have a question. Would the town not, with what you're saying, would the town have no say in what type of activity if we had, let's say you were gonna have a striptease group come in?
I don't know. Do you have rules and regulations?
No, we don't, to my knowledge, but I would think that there
No
is.
zoning.
Did I say?
Then we might need to raise some money. Yeah.
We wouldn't have
charge more than
taxes
$10 a head for something like that.
We'd be really annoyed if you took that one to Win Hall.
Oh, boy.
All right, so-
I think I gave the wrong name. The wrong
That's certainly
address.
something we can discuss, but I
Yeah.
hate to get into that.
Let's not get into that right now. So we have a motion on the table. Yes.
Just a very quick question. Do you see anything with the wording of this motion that would cause your group a problem?
Not that I can think of. I mean, I would have to get legal counsel, talk to our legal counsel.
I just want to be sure that, this sounds like something that we want to promote, and we don't want
Yes,
to get in the way.
Yeah.
So I want to be sure that this motion's not
Yes.
going to get in the way of what you're trying to.
I can't see, and I'm new to this,
So are we.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a whole, we're kind of figuring this out as we go along, that's why I'm here
And
tonight.
I'm discovering, calling other towns, that we are on the cutting edge of doing this. That neither Wardsboro nor Townsend is doing anything, but Townsend doesn't have the type of activities that we have here. So.
I mean, what does your legal counsel say?
That's the topic to be discussed.
Yes.
Yeah, let's put that one on hold too. Because that's a good point, as is his. But you have,
Our
Yeah, one of
legal
the-
counsel, though, is the group that's telling us we really have to do this, which is where we get our insurance.
The VLCT.
VLCT
Okay.
are our insurance.
GLCT is the Vermont
So,
Legal
I mean, I
Citizen
think
in a
Council.
sense, we've already gotten the word.
Yeah.
I mean, I fully understand why the town and the select board would want to go down this road to protect yourself. I mean, if something happens
Exactly.
during an event
Right.
and someone decides to sue,
Right, they'll come right after us.
Yeah,
another
I'll go
question.
along with that. That's a good idea, that they're covering their own thing or whatever, and then you should be covered through that. The only objection I have with this is that if you have a $77 fee, okay, for this, and somebody's gonna provide you with supposedly a certificate of insurance, I can make one of those in 2 minutes. So you have to have somebody to verify that that piece is in place.
Yeah, I would imagine,
And I wouldn't give them the choice, it's just, you know, it's either $50 or whatever you set for that, and then it's coming through you. You don't have to verify what they're doing.
So what you're saying is the town of Jamaica would actually provide the insurance,
For the
the
individual.
person who's,
no, we can't do that.
No, he's not talking about paying for it, he's saying, well, the town would require that that any person who is renting our hall go through this VLCT TULIP program.
Oh,
opposed to
they do
That's what
not-
the suggestion is, rather than
Yeah.
allow them to use their homeowner's insurance.
No,
Because
no.
he's talking about the possibility of fraud.
That's iffy. Some insurance companies will do that and some won't. And people say, oh,
It is
if
iffy.
your tools are stolen from your car, the insurance company, your
Right.
homeowners will pay for that. That doesn't always
Right,
happen.
that's true.
Well, we're gonna clearly need something that looks like other than a homemade insurance.
I'm
They
looking at
usually
something
fax
that's
them.
fair
They
for-
fax it to
for
the town
everybody,
clerk.
everybody.
Exactly.
It comes from the insurance company.
yeah, it would come directly from the insurance company. But this $77 is not a fee that
No.
goes to the town.
No,
So this is a,
That's just something that
yeah.
VLCT said
that's their fee.
premium is roughly
They
$77.
pay it directly to them.
As a matter
Yeah,
of
that
fact,
goes to whoever is supplying that certificate of insurance.
we have nothing, the town has nothing to do with getting them the insurance.
Yeah.
We're
I
we're
think,
just saying,
No.
hey, if you're interested, you could use this, or you
Right.
can use
Gotcha.
Aetna, or you can use
Right.
whatever.
Let's go back just a second. We have a motion on the table that has, a potential of being modified to include the $1 million.
Yes, and I said that was a friendly
I
amendment.
think so. I'm gonna, what do you who've been on this board a lot longer than I, how is best to manage that? Put the first one down to defeat and come up with the second one?
No, a friendly amendment, I think you can do without having,
Right.
you can amend, I mean, I could move to amend a motion.
Okay, let's have a motion to amend the motion to add a minimum of $1 million.
No, it's a friendly amendment. As the person who made the amendment,
Okay. you
I,
do it.
or the motion, I can do it, and I just
As
add.
long as the seconder
And then we will vote on
And I will,
Right.
as a seconder, I will. agree.
Pam, do you have
So-
that in for $1 million?
At least $1 million?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I guess my next question would be, if we continue with the motion the way it exists and allowing private people to use their homeowners insurance policy, part of the condition would be that the town clerk call the insurance company and verify that the policy really is
Yep.
in effect.
Yes.
That
It
would
is
be
in effect for $1 million.
Right.
for the state of
Well,
America.
I presume that they would give us a document that would state
Yeah,
that,
I would
but
think
the
that
clerk
they-
would verify that that document is legit.
So we have two amendments to the motion. One, $1 million, and two,
Well, I'm not asking for this to be an amendment, this is just the procedure that we would
the
follow.
procedure we've followed, then that's fine. We can put that in the minutes as a procedure. So I would entertain a motion for the friendly amended,
No, it's already done.
we haven't voted yet.
No, that, we're really waiting for a vote.
That's what I'm calling for.
Right.
A vote for the
Oh,
amended.
okay. I thought you were asking
No,
for
I'm-
a new amendment.
No, I just want
Or a
to,
new motion.
all in favor of the amended motion?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none? That friendly amended motion is carried. Okay.
Okay, we're not finished.
Oh, that's another one.
I would like to move that, in the event type, that it would read under resident/taxpayer on the facility rental agreement. And that the cleaning deposit be increased to $150. And the damage still stays the same, so.
Right, you don't have to,
Okay?
that's your motion.
Yes.
Do I hear a second?
Is there a second?
Haven't had one yet.
I'll second it. but I have a.
Okay, I hear a second. Any discussions?
Discussion. The damage deposit is $200, and like somebody said, it is expensive for somebody to come and pay a lot of money. I would like to see, I'd like to see the damage deposit of $200 to stay the same, because if they did walls or something, but the cleaning deposit, $100, I think that would take care of it, because it really, you know, there's no refrigerators, there's no kitchens or anything like that to clean. And I think asking for another $50, I'd like to leave it at 100, but that's my thought.
Have we ever had more of a, it costs more to clean?
Yes, last summer.
Can you describe that?
Yes, it was left tremendously filthy, and actually, it was cleaned by a number of people who picked up. There were garbage left, also the chairs were never put away.
What kind of event was that?
I don't know if I should name that event.
Type.
Oh,
It
it
was
was
a
a
musical.
concert.
Okay.
Ongoing, more than one day?
Yes.
Okay.
It was.
Can I ask, on that particular event, did it cost money or was it volunteer labor that cleaned up?
It was volunteer labor.
The whole thing was volunteer?
Is it an incentive then to bring it up to 200 that they don't trash the place? Is that what we're doing here? or
Well, actually, it's 100, and I was asking for
150, I mean.
Yeah, I cleaned it.
Yeah, I knew that, along with,
Your time is valuable, not that valuable.
yeah, but if it starts to be an ordinary event, I don't think that will fly.
I like the incentive part that you mentioned.
Yeah, because they get the money back if it is.
The money will be going
Yeah,
back.
did they lose their deposit on that?
If they,
Did they, the ones that,
Yes.
they did, I don't think they ever paid, is that?
they didn't pay anything?
I'm not sure what happened. There was a mix-up, but we
It
got it
was
all
a-
straightened out
it was
and
a-
whatnot.
a
So, and
bad-
that's the past, so
It
we
was
just have to
bad
go to the
scene.
future now.
I guess the reason I didn't second it, I mean, everybody's looking at me to second it, is because I kind of agree with the $100 as opposed to $150. Because I think when you're asking people to front $300 up, that hopefully will be returned, but that's still a lot of money to front.
I agree.
For a day.
So,
That is-
for a day, so I like the $100 and I kind of am a little reluctant to go to the $150.
What's your motion there?
I would like to move that we,
Well, we have a motion on the floor.
right, I can amend the motion.
Okay.
I'm going to move that we amend the motion from $150 to $100 for the cleaning fee.
Basically leave that as it
It
is.
is 100.
Right, this is different than a friendly motion.
Right.
This
I hear
is a motion
you.
that
You're gonna move that we.
Amend it.
amend the
leave that
motion.
part as it is.
Right.
Now, there was the other section
We
in
need a
that
second.
motion.
We need a
Second?
There was another part that the resident slash,
That's not affected, that is not affected by the amendment. That
But-
was-
so that
that
still
stays.
stays, okay.
But her motion, that was part of the motion.
Yeah.
Correct.
So the only thing amended is the cost.
Cost of the cleaning.
All in favor of that amendment?
I think,
Oh, so we got a question.
yeah.
Oh, I have a question. Oh,
If you, I'm confused by the fees involved to rent the place. There's a $50, you have to be a resident and/or a taxpayer. Does that mean that outside people can't rent?
No,
they can't.
there is a non-resident.
A non-resident fee
Yes.
that you're not amending?
Correct.
If you're renting, for example, a public event is $50 per day, $100 for a private event per day, additional days are 50, and the deposit is 200.
For a non-resident.
We're not
For
amending any of
non-residents.
We're not amending
Yeah,
that,
we're
that's
not,
it.
yeah,
So this
that
is, this
stays
is
the
just
same.
an amendment for private events?
No, for the type, the fee schedule.
No, the amendment on the floor, the $50 for taxpayers
For the
and/or
cleaning.
residents, that's just for a private event?
No, that's the cleaning deposit. Anybody who rents has.
No, it
to-
hasn't a cleaning deposit, we're talking
That's what
about.
it was.
It was
That's
part
what
of
it was,
the
the cleaning deposit.
which was 100.
It was
I guess-
100 and now
And now it's
it's
just amended.
The amendment is specific to the cleaning deposit, not the adjustment.
Not
to
the
the-
Yeah, we're not doing, you're right, we're not doing the events. What I was identifying is that the resident now includes taxpayer.
Okay.
Right, that's part of the
Okay.
original motion, which we're about to vote on next, but the first,
All right, so as we hear it, oh, sorry.
I just wanted to ask, so I'm confused, what's the total amount that somebody has to come up with to rent a
Want
home?
to give them one of these sheets?
Yeah, I have
All
an
right, that's
extra.
what I.
These are,
Well, actually, it would only be 400
So my question is that
they didn't raise it to 150.
if, I mean, some people aren't gonna be able to probably come up with $450 or whatever, so what I was thinking about was that,
You see on the bottom.
why don't you come up with a fee that's, reasonable, that, why do you have to have a separate amount for cleaning and a separate amount for this? If somebody put up $300,
That's a deposit.
the cleaning
If
is a
you
deposit.
walk away and everything's okay, you get your money back.
right?
Right,
So
we
is
have
that
to have
what it
some,
is?
we have to have
So
something,
the
so that
fee,
we'll take care
the
of it.
fee comes to us. The deposit goes back if we don't have to clean it up.
Right.
Does it have to be 2 deposits? Why couldn't it be cleaning
Well,
and,
they write one check for the whole thing.
but couldn't it be cleaning and damage of $300?
Yeah.
And then you have $300 to work with to clean it
It's
versus?
just in the wording, basically.
Well, that's what I'm saying, so instead of upping one and taking more money to clean, why not say $300 deposit for damage or cleaning? And then if they leave it a mess and it takes $200 to clean it, you take it out and give them $100 back.
Right, because the insurance probably.
Just a
cover the
word,
damage
just a
unless it's-
wording, but it seems like it would make sense.
Well, I think that the way it's broken down will explain to the potential
Renter.
renter that that's what 200 is for damage, and 100 right now is for the deposit, cleaning deposit. I mean, we could tell them.
yeah, I think it makes it clear.
Right, some people need clarity.
Share the form with them so you can see.
Yes, do you see it on there?
Hand that, Chris.
He knows what the breakdown is.
Yeah,
I know what,
I said, he knows what the breakdown is.
sorry, I know where I am.
Or give it to anybody else who wants to see it.
So we are at a position to vote on the change.
Okay? Yeah, I don't have to agree.
You don't have to agree. All in favor of the amendment to leave the
Cleaning
cleaning
deposit.
deposit, correct? As is,
Mhm.
and only change. What's the other term?
Resident taxpayer.
Yeah, adding taxpayer to residency.
Right, okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. Thank you. Thank you.
So
now we gotta vote on the main amendment, the main bill.
Okay, cost modification. Which one's left?
The main motion, all we did was vote on the amendment. We now need a motion, we now need to vote on the main motion.
To make a change.
Judy's
The one-
motion,
is
The one that Pam has.
for $100
Right.
plus the residence and
Thank
taxpayer
you.
identification.
Thank you. All in favor of that motion?
aye.
Opposed? That too passes. Good, thank you. Moving on to the next agenda item has to do with a motion to have the town purchase property at tax sale. Here's the drill. If we put a piece of property on tax sale, and there are no bids above the taxes owed, we need, as a select board, to move to purchase that property.
Purchase it or just obtain it?
Obtain
Obtain,
purchase.
basically,
But we're not gonna pay
No.
any money.
No, but we're going to take it like $1 or whatever the minimum is. But if there's no bids above the tax amount, then we make the purchase. In order to do that, the select board has to decide to do that, and that's kind of what I'm entertaining a motion to do.
So that would be for every tax sale auction?
Yes.
Not just for a specific one?
That would be a policy of us managing tax sale auctions, that's correct.
What prompted that? Is there one coming up?
I believe so. Terry was talking to me about that. I don't know the exact timing on it though. But the thing is, if we don't, then the property's kind of flopping in limbo.
I guess I'm a little bit concerned about, let's say that somebody has a rundown building lot with a trailer on it or something on it.
Lot of trash.
And then that becomes our property, then it's our responsibility now to clean it up.
Concur.
I think what happened is I could be wrong, but there's a piece of property or two that the people haven't been paying their taxes on for quite some time. They don't want the property for some reason or other. They want to give it to the town, but they do not want to go into the expense of, you know, getting a lawyer and doing the deed and turning it over to us. And that's not, I don't feel it's our responsibility that we should pay the lawyer and have everything done to, you know, take it. So if it goes to tax sale and we purchase it, then we in turn can, the neighbor would want to purchase it. If we don't, then these people get the taxes keep just building up, and it's a loss for us. So maybe it might be a gain, I don't know.
That's come up before.
It's come up before,
I
right.
remember back in the Beaver area.
I mean, this has been going on for
where
some
they
time.
wanted to
When Bonner was here.
give us the, and it was creating all sorts of problems with drainage and all of that.
Guess I'm at a mix here. I don't like to absolve somebody from their responsibility, but by the same token, if it's an area that needs to be cleaned up, we don't have the legal right to do it unless we actually own it.
That's correct.
So I think maybe if we obtain it, even if our intent is later on to sell it, at least if we own it, we can at least clean it up.
I'd like to know what it is, and, you know, how, what, where, and, you know, it should be like a case by case.
Well, I was thinking that too, as opposed to our.
I don't want to commit to, you know, having to do that with every single property that people default on their taxes.
Well, we can do further research on it, I would think.
Should we table it and
Table
get
this
some
and
details?
get more information on it?
Okay, we should table this and get it more specifically spelled out with your concerns mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do we do now when this situation happens?
Well,
That's what I'd like to find
the
out.
property, one of the specific property that came to mind, there's not much we can do. We keep sending out tax notices and we keep doing the kinds of things that Terry's doing. We're getting nowhere. We have a blighted piece of
What
property.
property is this we're referring to?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't have that information.
But has it gone to
Lex
us?
obviously knows, she's
I
been
don't-
talking with them.
I didn't say I knew where the property was. I said, I know it's two pieces of property and I believe it might be on West Hill. I'm
I
not
think there's an
positive.
unbuildable lot. It's just a lot that can't really be built on, a small lot.
But I don't know exactly where it is.
So if you acquire the property and because it doesn't sell for the taxes owed, does that allow you to put it on the market at a lower price than what the taxes owed was?
I believe that does. It allows us the freedom to do things that we can't now do. And partial is better than none. I believe that's the thinking.
The other interesting thing is how does that affect the grand list? Does that, like right now, the grand list includes that piece of property, and then if the town owns it, then the grand list would go down by the value of that piece of property.
I think we need more research on this.
Yeah.
All right,
Interesting
so I
questions.
would recommend, I entertain a motion to table this until further information. Maybe we should have a conference with our treasurer
Yeah, and
to get all
maybe
these questions.
find out from-
Because those are good questions.
From our lawyer, yeah.
I'll make a motion to table number
Second.
10.
Any further discussion?
I don't think there is any.
Any fair? That's it. Done. All in favor?
Did anyone second that?
I did.
Okay, thank you.
And, no? None? Hearing none? Passed. We're going to table this.
Lou, can I ask you, is there, when you table something, there's no discussion, is there?
For that motion?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Motion.
I think we did. I just thought we pretty much discussed the heck out of it already.
Yeah.
No, I'm
We
just
need to
curious.
find out more information.
Yeah, we'll get some more information. Okay, I have one more piece of correspondence that I received today, and then it's kind of under public concerns because the person who brought me the letter couldn't be here this evening, and she asked me to include it. This is from Karen and Dale Emden regarding, now the letter says we've been paying for 8 months of the year to keep a porta potty available for the public here in the village of Jamaica. Town of Jamaica has been paying for 3 months. Jamaica Old Home Day has been paying for 1 month. We're asking the town of Jamaica to pay for the porta potty for all 12 months of the year, if you feel that you want to keep a porta potty in town. It is used a great deal by locals and visitors. It also came in pretty handy a couple of times when the town office building was having some plumbing issues. We have just decided that we can no longer continue to pay for it. The cost is, according to Terry, $90 a month. Entertain discussion on that topic. Do we have thoughts on whether we want to keep a porta potty at our expense, the town's expense.
Interesting. Hadn't thought about it. So we're talking about
We need to think about this for another couple weeks.
Another $1,000 a year? Interesting.
So we think about it for a couple of weeks?
I think the reason for the porta potty originally being out there was that the country store was being asked a lot of times to use their facilities. And this gave them the opportunity to say, we don't want to use our facilities, public porta potty over there.
Well, I think at the time, there was a lot more businesses on the street, though.
How much would it cost to put a sign up in front of the library, say public bathrooms?
In the library?
Well, you just authorized to put a public bathroom in the
The
library.
library's not
That's
open
a
enough
pump
to.
chamber system too, yeah, you don't, doesn't go anywhere.
Minimum hours.
It'd be pumping it out.
The advantage of this thing is clearly all the trade people, anybody driving a truck in the area knows there's a bathroom out here. So it's been pretty common and pretty well used, but there's the point, it's been paid for by a number of businesses, and I gather the business load has, the business contributions has dropped.
And we've paid for it in the past too. 2013 and 2014, we paid $461.
If no one else is kicking in for it, I don't see why the town should pay for that to be out there for a year, personally.
Are they doing the farmer's market still on the weekends?
I don't know if they're gonna do it this year with the construction going on over here.
don't know.
I mean, if the town is promoting village, busyness and whatnot,
That's not the town's farmer's market, that's.
right, but I'm just
Right,
saying as a
yeah.
courtesy to anyone who is hoping to spend some time in the village.
There certainly is a receptive tourist factor. So this is a new one to me, it just hit tonight, shall we put this
Why
on
don't
the
I'd
table
like
and
to
think about it?
that.
Yeah, why don't we take?
All right, so let's table this one?
I'd hate to just say no, let's just.
Exactly, so I entertain a tabling motion?
I guess it's really not on the agenda, so
No.
we don't have to table it.
Right.
Oh, we
We
are.
can put it on next agenda or next
Just
meeting.
put table
Yep.
in parentheses, because we don't really know what we just did. All right, now in the agenda, we have the time for public concerns, we have several publics. Any concerns of the public you'd like to bring up at this point?
Well, I need to verify if you got my email the other day with the photos that I sent from Lou Bruso.
No.
That's interesting, because you and I correspond all the time.
Yeah.
I sent 7 or 8 photos forward through Town of Jamaica, Town Clerk. There were 3 culverts last week, ripped. Metal culverts peeled over on West Jamaica Road. Holes in the road, in the culverts. One of which was a plastic culvert that was just replaced last year. We got a serious
Why
problem.
don't you resend that,
What's your email, Lou?
Send it to Jamaica FZA, Flood Zone Administrator. Jamaica FZA at sbcable.net. I will point out that I sent an email to Pam last week as well. It didn't get to her.
And the reformer sent me one too that I didn't get.
Yeah.
Bounce.
I think we had some problems with our Exchange server on Monday morning. Was it Monday when you sent it?
No, it was, well.
Was it
might have been
Wednesday?
Tuesday. Might have been Tuesday.
Yeah.
Someone sent me something on
So
Wednesday.
we've had
that I
some
didn't
problems. We'll need to figure that
I
out.
resent it to Terry, and she got it.
get. But then I got the one with the. I got it eventually.
You know what, some of it was, I had an old address that had an underscore, maybe been from the previous clerk that was in with. But
I'll look for that
but it
email.
bounced, just in,
I'll look for that email. If I don't get it, I'll
Yeah,
contact you.
but just take note, there was about a 9-inch hole that, about this big, peeled, with metal peeled back. I mean, it's open, and tires are going over it. There was another one where the grader ripped open the culvert, and it actually literally had a sharp piece of metal sticking upright, which there were tire tracks, I mean, and they're in the photos. I mean, people were driving over it. And then the plastic one that just got replaced last year is a brand new culvert. You know, we don't have even enough gravel over the top of these things to be grading. Now we're ripping them apart. What good is that doing our town?
well, I
We
know
can't
it's
keep
no
those.
good, but it's good to know that they're ripped open.
Yeah, I checked the last week, last meeting, there was a question on some culverts at the Cole Pond Road, which I checked on. I couldn't find one of them, but,
Is this the same ones?
No, this is
Cole
West
Pond,
Jamaica Road.
West Jamaica Road.
but I did find both, the other two were very high in the road. I talked to Keith about it, and the problem is that the culverts are at that location because the ditching that leads to that particular culvert is very high. So Keith and I talked a little bit about ditching that area a little bit better so that we can bring the culverts down a little bit lower.
Are the culverts you're talking about the ones where we're gonna do the new culvert on the other side of Forester Road?
No,
Okay, that's something different.
correct.
Can you give a location?
You can just drive down the road because water's running down the road into the hole in the culvert.
I think I would.
It's not even going in the ditch.
Give
I mean,
me a
seriously.
general location so I know where.
One of them's in the culvert right beside, the new bridge on Sage Hill.
Okay, Sage Hill Bridge in that area?
Yeah, and there's one just above, Johnson's house, you know, above White Road. Actually, 4 feet of the culvert got ripped out and it's sitting in the ditch.
So this is all new.
And since they scraped it Friday and they did it today. And now today I went over it and there's a big hump in the road where that culvert used to be. And now that's sitting in the ditch, there's a big divot in the road. So there's no trouble seeing it.
Okay.
And then,
I'm feeling it.
the other one's up by, I can't remember the name, Jason Cass's.
Yeah.
I don't know the number. It's about a half a mile before Forester Road.
Okay, but still in that general direction?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So, 2 weeks ago.
Can you give her your name, please?
Lori Polhemus.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, I had asked you specifically, Paul, you said that you would find out information on how often and when is the last time our grader operator has been to a refresher class. And you said, you took notes and said you will discuss that with the town crew and get back to me on what that protocol generally is with our town.
The protocol is to get these guys trained when we get hired. I talked to Keith. I cannot tell you how long ago it was when Richard did his course, but it was a long time ago.
Obviously.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, obviously, but it was some time ago.
Right.
Richard, I beg your pardon, Keith is comfortable that they know what they're doing. And that if there's some courses available as they pop up, we can certainly take a look at getting them assigned to it. The only course he and I could come up with at the time was way up north someplace, so it's a case of finding the course available.
We just discussed 3 more.
I'm hearing that now.
Rick Hilton.
I'm hearing that now, and that will be on the conversation.
And we had another conversation of ditches needing to be dug out even further to fix the culverts.
The ditching thing is another item. That's something else we're working, well, excuse me. What we're working on separately is the education of the grader driver.
Absolutely.
But the ditching is something we're actively pursuing, because that's something that needs to be done. That's part of one of the grants that we submitted for is involved with re-ditching that stretch that goes up Pikes Falls Road. And we're trying to think of how we can do a better ditching job throughout the entire town. Every time we look at it, it's like a lot of money, we've still got to figure out how to make that work. But your question about the education of our drivers, we should work on that. I'll talk to them in the morning. Especially if there's some new damage being done.
I will tell you that our backhoe is scheduled to be replaced very soon as far as our equipment replacement plan. And we're talking about replacing it with a 4-wheel excavator, which is much better for ditching than the backhoe. So we're talking about replacing that piece of equipment with a piece of equipment which is more aligned to ditching. The second thing is that the state has enacted something called, I think it's Act 64, or 46, I don't remember. But whatever it is, it's a water quality. It's a water quality act, and every town will be required to inventory their roads for the need for ditching. So ditching has become a very high priority in the state, and we're going to attack that issue as well from the town perspective. It's not going to be done immediately, but from a general town perspective, that's gonna be high on our agenda over the next few years.
And with the state's priority in that comes money that we have to, you know.
There's grant money available, that's correct.
For grant money. So these things take time and money, but we're hearing what you're saying. I will bring up this stuff tomorrow. In fact, I may go look at it. Then I can take a look tomorrow.
We'll go take a look, yeah.
Because we can't keep trashing things. Whatever went wrong.
Wouldn't you think that if the grade, well, sounds like the grader did it, wouldn't you like hear that or feel that or?
Yeah.
Good thing. Let's find out.
No, I'm just curious.
So after the grader, usually the truck drags the rake behind it. So one way or the other, it should be noticed.
I would think that they wouldn't leave that like that. They had to have not.
Yeah, I'll talk to
No,
we'll talk
I
to
did.
Thank you for bringing that to
I'm
my
not
attention.
in their defense, I'm just like,
Let's find
if
out.
I did that, it'd be like, you know, backing into a car, I kinda.
Well, it's just like up on top of Dalewood Road, there's a rock, like probably this big,
Right.
the grader rolled out, and there's been 2 cones set around it for 2 weeks now. That,
I mean, that's just common
it's
sense.
just left there,
Just
you know,
lazy.
they didn't feel the need, it's right on top of Dalewood Road.
Or maybe at that moment, they didn't have the equipment, so they had to go back with something to move it big enough.
Right,
The
well,
loader was up there today.
Say again?
The loader was up there today.
Did they do anything to it?
No.
there's 100 instances that are like this,
And this is on Dalewood?
yeah.
This isn't stuff that's all new. Maybe you're just hearing about it, but this has been going on for years. And that's
Oh,
why,
yeah.
that's why we have no ditches on Cold Pond.
And I feel the need to say something. I mowed the roadsides in Jamaica for 10 years. Last year, I gave it up because you can't mow them anymore.
Because of sand piles.
The roadsides are terrible. I used to mow 350 miles of roadsides in southern Vermont. Jamaica has by far the worst roadsides and ditches
It wrecks equipment.
around. And I can't do a good job anymore, so last year I didn't even mow them because you just can't do it. So I just wanted to let you know.
And what's causing that again?
Bad grader driving and no ditching.
And no brush cutting either. I mean, you got trees, you know, that are, some of them are laying there, but they just get shoved or,
They shove them into the ditches. The last year I mowed it was 2 years ago, and we're working on our second or third ditch on some roads because the original ditch that was here has been filled in, and the water creates a second ditch, and then they plow this little ridge of dirt when they grade, and now there's a third ditch inside the third, and there's places you see we have 5 feet of shoulder that's just nothing but crap because it hasn't been taken care of. And you will notice it if you drive on any back road in Jamaica.
Okay. Thank you for bringing that stuff. If we don't hear about it, we don't know about it. What's the, is there any other public concerns? Yes, sir.
Kevin Finance, I just was wondering about with losing the 327 in the recycling bins.
Well,
Is that,
That was going to be on my topic for other business.
yeah, we're good. I think well, go ahead and put your question
oh,
out.
I was just wondering if that's gonna happen, if we have other avenues, other vendors to get rid of our recycling.
I think we have the answer to that. I'll let him talk about it in a second, because that's a good question. Not that all of them aren't, but that specifically is on the topic.
Would you like me to answer that now, or do you want me to wait for other business?
Why don't you answer that now since it's come up?
That's been a topic at the Wyndham Solid Waste for the last couple of months. It was precipitated by the fact that the recycling market is way, way, way down. Part of the reason is because the China trade is slowed down tremendously. The other part of it is because plastic prices are dependent upon oil prices, and oil prices, as you know, have been way down. And Wyndham Solid Waste has been losing money for about 3 or 4 years now. The 2 or 3 years prior to that, we had a surplus, and that surplus funded the first couple of years of the downturn. Last year, we had about $105,000 loss, which we funded through what was in our excess post-closure fund. Right now, we're looking at a loss of about $70,000 or $80,000 this year. That will drain us, our post-closure fund, down to absolutely what our liabilities are. We cannot sustain that. In January, we had a finance committee meeting to discuss how we can save money. What's happening in the last 2 or 3 years is that 3 through 7, there is no market for it, and we've been throwing it out as trash. And we've been paying $100 a ton to do that. If you look at our trash, a huge amount of our trash that's coming out of that MRF is 3 through 7s. We decided that we couldn't sustain that any longer. We had about 5 or 6 different things that we did to try to save money. One was we laid off a person that processes the 3 through 7s. So in order to try to continue to avoid losing money, we initiated a policy to try to train everybody not to throw out 3 through 7s so that we don't have to charge back that kind of money to the cities and towns through their assessments. So we had a meeting, I think, whatever the second Thursday this month was, the 10th or the 12th, or whatever date that was. And we had a lot of pushback, like you were just talking about, from different towns. And we decided that we needed to continue that process. So we will we have already started the process of sending out information to the towns. I think you received something?
No.
Okay. I think somebody, the select board received something?
Yeah, we got it.
We got something?
Yeah,
And
and you told me.
we held off.
That was one from before the meeting though, that was a couple weeks ago.
Right, that was before the meeting 2 weeks ago.
Right. It was
And
something-
I asked Pam she was gonna put it on the website. I asked her to hold it until we had this meeting at Wyndham Solid Waste.
That's the one,
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
gotten any new word.
No.
Okay.
So I'm giving you that word tonight.
I did give that.
So the plan is to continue the process of asking residents not to throw 3 through 7s in with their recycling, instead throw them into their bags.
So that's starting now?
Yes.
Because my word has been not to start that.
Right, until I told you.
Yeah, so now you're telling me.
Now I'm telling you.
Okay,
Right.
gotcha.
So the
So
same thing
don't do
goes.
that anymore.
Just to follow up on that, I guess my question was, is Jamaica committed to Wyndham Solid Waste forever?
It's a good point. A lot of towns are thinking that. Jamaica has to pay someone to take their recycling.
Right.
Whether it's done through the district or whether it's done privately. Triple T is currently our carrier for waste, and Triple T has given you a price for what it would cost us.
Yeah, we
to
pay each time $142.50 for them to take away. So that obviously now is going to increase.
They would also charge a tipping fee for the
Yeah.
cost of the.
That's for the trash, not for recycling.
Well, if Triple T comes and gets it for
Yes.
us rather than Wyndham Solid, we'll start
Well, yeah,
paying
truck.
for that.
I know Winhall is
Right, they've
switching
gone
to
with
another
Casella.
vendor. No, not Casella.
I thought, it was a TAM.
TAM.
Okay.
Who's gonna continue to take the
3
1
through
through 7?
1 through 7.
I guess you really don't want 4s, right, for the films, but,
Are they dropping out of Wyndham Solid?
no.
But they're going to do that anyway? Oh.
Well, yeah, I think the garbage is one thing and recycling is another thing.
I'm not sure that, I heard that Winhall has actually voted for that. Stratton has voted for that. Stratton is using, I think, Casella, they're the ones using Casella. Whitingham is thinking of it.
I was just wondering
Is thinking of it.
if the Jamaica board actually has looked and done numbers with other people to see if they're actually getting a good deal.
We looked, I think as part of your research last year, you did some looking.
Right.
Right now, I think Triple T is about to raise their price for recycling from $55 a ton to $65 a ton. So it's not free.
No.
Recycling is not free. And we're finding that is becoming much more knowledgeable as we're this market, this commodity market has been going down.
Have you gotten a proposal from TAM or no?
The district got a proposal from TAM,
But not the town?
but not for, Jamaica's, see, the problem with TAM is TAM's located in Bennington. TAM has a very nice route right up Route 9, and they go up to Winhall. The question is, the additional coming up to Jamaica, we don't know what that was. When they first quoted it to the district, it was almost double the cost.
They really don't want to come here,
They really don't want to.
basically.
Well, maybe they realize they've got Winhall on board.
It's
Well,
possible.
no, it's
It's
easier,
possible.
well, it's easier for Winhall because it's very direct from Manchester over,
Right.
but,
So we are looking at that. We also, the district is looking at getting out of the recycling business, in which case we would then have to do that as a town. But we would still stay in the district for their other services like education. We have to follow what's called Act 48, and Act 48 has some educational components to it, which has to be done. We would have to, if we were a separate district, we got out of the district, we have to pay someone to do that. Like right now, I think the program coordinator has been working with our schools. We would have to pay for that as opposed to the district paying for it. We would have to pay, if you remember, every year or 2 years, either Jamaica or Winhall has a hazardous waste event. We would have to have our own hazardous waste event, or we have to collectively do it with other towns. So the point is that there are other things that the district does besides take our recycling. But we are going through that process at the district.
And how does that reflect with the state law, I don't know the number
Act
of it,
148?
that they passed, basically saying that it's now illegal to throw recycled products in a landfill, and now you're telling us to do it?
Actually, no. The law calls for requiring 1s and 2s to be accepted.
So those were never in.
3 through 7 are not part of the law.
so all that you've learned, you have to unlearn it.
All you
Yeah.
made us do was wrong.
No, it's not wrong.
So the headline coming out of this is, we gotta stop putting anything 3 through 7 through our
Right.
recycling.
Right. Fortunately, although it's light, it's bulky, that's the problem by putting it now in the bags. If you're able to squish those suckers down, do it, so you can get more into your yellow bag or your green bag. But the weight is light.
Are you gonna send out new letters? Because all my, people that take care of
That's
the
correct.
houses.
Yeah, we probably will.
Yeah.
See, I've been waiting for
Retrained.
I've got flyers.
There are new flyers.
We just got them all trained.
Yeah.
Now they need to be
You
retrained.
have new flyers, Liz?
Yeah, I do.
I need to be somehow in this stream of information.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
he
know
told
why
me to
I'm
hold
not.
off, so I have them on the desk, they've been sitting there, and no, he told me not to do anything.
I'm in charge, remember?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well-
I need to know.
Yeah, but that was a correspondence from the district.
So what we're gonna do now is, undo what we used to do. We're gonna do 1 and 2s, recycle, everything else goes in the trash.
Correct.
All right, thank you very
Well,
much.
no, paper still continues.
Right, I'm a plastic.
Paper and bottles.
Right.
Anything else
On this topic?
on this topic? Okay, what I wanna do is I'm gonna make some changes here. First of all, make sure I've got everybody's public concerns. I'm looking around, I'm seeing some public that are concerned, so we're gonna go ahead and open the cemetery mowing bids. But I see some faces that are probably interested in that. So what I'll do is I'm gonna open these, I'll have you read them. Okay.
This is a roadside mowing quote from Bruce Orchett, O-R-C-H-I-T-T, Orchard Mowing from Chester, Vermont. Roadside mowing, an estimated 65 miles of roadside at 2-3 passes where possible on all Class 2 roads, and 2 passes where possible on all Class 3 roads, plus any necessary over-the-rail mowing needed. Mowing to be completed in June and by the end of September, first part of October. I will provide all signage, exclamation, Enclosed is proof of liability, insurance, W-9 liability, hold harmless agreement and non-employee work agreement. 130 miles at $90 a mile for a total of $11,700. And there's certificate of insurance and the other things he said he has here.
Here's the next one.
This is Town of Jamaica Cemetery bid. Rawson,
Whoops.
what am I got here?
What is that? It
Cemetery
says cemetery
mowing.
mowing, but you just read it, sounded to me like it was roads.
Yeah, there's two bids we had out there, Paul.
For the,
It was a roadside mowing bid and a.
I know that, but the one we just read was the cemetery.
That was roadside mowing, this is cemetery, just hold that, put that back in the book.
Ah,
You got another
I
road?
had my thumb over where it says roadside, when I was handing it to you. This is the. See, that's some, right? But- All right, so let's do the cemetery one right now.
Okay, so we just have one for roadside mowing.
You ready?
That's correct, I have two for cemetery, yeah.
All right.
Okay, this is from Adam Clark, Newfane, Vermont. Town of Jamaica Cemetery bid for 2016. Rawsonville Cemetery, mowing per time $95. Spring cleanup $175. Fall cleanup $245. Okay, I'm just gonna stop. There's not gonna be a total here, so someone might wanna add this up. Okay?
Yeah.
East Jamaica Cemetery.
Give me a sec. Give me the number.
Ready?
Yep.
East Jamaica Cemetery, mowing per time $90. Spring cleanup $125. Fall cleanup $180.
This isn't gonna work this time, because 90 per shot, right?
Are you adding that up, Lou?
I'm just writing them down at the moment.
Okay.
I can't, he said this is $90 per event.
You want me
And,
to start again?
no, I just want to make sure I'm reading it correct, I'm hearing it correctly. You're saying $90 per event, plus,
Per time.
but plus the two for spring and fall.
Yes.
So we don't know how many times it's gonna require that, do we?
No.
All right. So 90 per event.
I'm going down here next.
Okay, let's keep going.
West Jamaica Cemetery, mowing per time $40. Spring cleanup $70. Fall cleanup $70. Pikes Falls Cemetery, mowing per time $40. Spring cleanup $60. Fall cleanup $60. And then the last one, South Wyndham Cemetery, mowing per time $80. Spring cleanup $105. Fall cleanup $160. And I think inside of this was a certificate of insurance from Adam Clark. It's not open.
We'll do that.
So there's an insurance certificate for Adam. For certificate of liability insurance. For Adam Clark. Okay, there's one more.
Yes.
That was just D&K's property maintenance, bid for cemetery mowing for 2016. Okay. Rossendale Cemetery cleanup, $200. Permo, $100. Ooh, these are total, for a total of $800.
I think that's
Must be an
assuming what, a
estimate.
certain number of mows.
Yeah, said right on the bid sheet how many most. There's like 3 and 6. It was, depending on which cemetery.
Nope, I've got, it says Rossendale Cemetery, cleanup, 200. Permo, the next line is Permo, 100, and then it says total, 800.
Yeah, okay.
So, okay?
Yep.
East Jamaica Cemetery cleanup, $400. Permo, 125. Total, 1,150.
You know, is that assuming that there's 2 cleanups? Because the other guy was talking about a fall and a spring cleanup.
No,
It's just one cleanup?
well, it's, I guess if you want to call it fall and spring, sure.
Okay.
It's just cleanup.
So,
So in, for this bid, that would be either a fall or a spring.
Previously, it's only been done in the spring.
Yeah, so I thought, yeah.
There's not much plowing in the cemetery. It's pretty much all you have to clean up in the spring.
okay.
Okay, keep going.
South Hill Cemetery cleanup, $150. Permo, 140. Total, 570. South Wyndham Cemetery cleanup, 200. Permo, 150. Total, $650. The next one's Pikes Falls Cemetery cleanup, $75. Permo, $75. Total, $300. West Jamaica Cemetery, cleanup, $100. Permo, 100. And total, $400. For a combined total of $3,870. Right?
All right, those are the only 2 we have for the cemetery, and we have one for the.
Have to get an insurance certificate from me.
All right, given the fact that these things came out as kind of separate, let's get time to look at these, crunch the numbers, and we will make the announcement.
I don't know, do you want to have another meeting this week and, like,
No.
We need to, we're not prepared to do it tonight, we're gonna have to do the math on these 2 things. So,
What was the grand total on Adam Clark? Because I didn't hear him, I
don't
just
think
saw
so.
the bill.
we're gonna get a grand total, we gotta compare
I have
numbers.
to, put it
Well, I
in
know,
the
we wrote
spreadsheet.
down the numbers.
They don't know how many mows.
Yeah,
how many mowers?
Yeah, we'll have to.
That one is a
create
little
section
big.
for that.
Yeah, so we're just gonna have to.
Depends how much it rains, I guess.
Do we need a meeting to make,
To award the
announcement?
bid? We usually do, yeah.
Right.
I think we want to do it relatively soon. We want to have the.
I'd like to be able to spend some time just to make sure the math is correct, so we're not gonna be able to do it tonight.
I agree.
Attack it
So why
tomorrow.
don't we do it,
Get together tomorrow, or the next day.
we do it Wednesday morning?
Wednesday morning?
You guys.
Can we get 3 people?
Wednesday, I'm taking the assessor around for the day, so I won't be.
He won't be here. Are you
How
available
about Thursday?
Thursday morning?
Well, no, Thursday morning's not good. How about Thursday at, say,
5?
5 o'clock? So we
I
have a meeting
could,
at
I
6.
could do that at 5.
Let's do Thursday at 5.
Stand by. We're talking the 28th
Mm-hmm.
at 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
All right, we will make the announcement, we will have to make the announcement at 5 o'clock on the 28th.
How did this?
Okay, so So we'll take care of that, we'll do the math between now and then, and we'll get that figured out.
That seems to have sealed itself.
Self-sealing.
Okay.
Okay, so, I suspected that's why you guys are hanging on there, so. The next item on the agenda, excess weight permits for P&L trucking. And I had another one arrive today, 2 more. P&L trucking out of Chester, Vermont. Another one from Washburn Vault Company in Hinsdale, New Hampshire. And another one from A.S. Clark and Sons in Newfane. All 3 of them have had the fee paid. Paperwork will have the usual, excuse me, restrictions. I entertain a motion to have the road commissioner sign these.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Whoops, time out. I'm slipping like here. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. That's what's done.
Thank you.
The only other thing we have is any other business that comes before the board. Did you have anything else you wanted to?
Yeah, I wanted to just report to you on the activities of the town garage building committee. We've had 2 meetings. The first meeting was, I think, the Wednesday after our last board meeting. That was, I think both of them have been very productive. The first one, we actually sat down with David Cotton and his
Paul
Pulaski. We spent a fair amount of time going over some of the different options that we might want to consider. We talked a little bit about different configurations that the building might contain. Kind of converged on the fact that the square building is not just the most efficient. A square building with different garage door bays is a more efficient and a cheaper option than we looked at one where the vehicles would come in one side and go out the other side and all park at an angle inside, so you'd have fewer doors. The advantage of that is it might heat a little bit more efficiently, but would need a lot more room in order to accomplish that because of the maneuverability that would have to take place in there. So we kind of converged on the fact that we wanted to have a square building, a rectangular building, as opposed to some other kind of option. We talked a little bit about whether we want to put the offices inside the building or whether we wanted to have a separate bay, if you will. Not really a bay, it was more like a shed type thing on the outside. The advantage to that is that it's much, you keep the room for future expansion inside the building much more efficiently than you would if you had the offices there. If the plows were to be parked in front of those offices inside, that's similar to the way Winhall does it. The plows would almost touch the office space and would not give a lot of maneuverability room, especially for handicapped people. We have to build our bathroom in there handicap accessible, and it wouldn't give very much room for a handicapped person to move around. So it would be about the same approximate cost to put on the outside of the building on the shed as opposed to on the inside. So we kind of converged on that. And that was sort of reinforced a little bit more. A few of us went out to look at both the Stratton garage and the Winhall garage. And the Stratton garage, I think it had 6 bays, but it had a 7th bay, if you will, which was the office space. And it left much more room inside for the larger trucks. Winhalls, you could see that they had, one of the trucks was in there when we were in there the other day, and it does take up a lot of room with very little room for maneuverability. So that was the result of that first meeting. We also talked a little bit about notifying the public and how that would be could be accomplished. Bob Stone has taken a keen interest in that in that topic, so that was a fair amount of discussion was held on that as well. The second meeting was not held with the architect. It was held just by our group, and we talked a little bit about additional features. As I said, we had been to see the Stratton Garage, and a couple of us had been to the Winhall Garage, and we got kind of a very interesting feedback from Stratton. They felt that the Stratton plans were designed by an architect that had everything top of the line in it, and when they put it out to bid, they, of course, the bidders had to bid on what was out there. And his recommendation was have your local people look at the bids or at the architect's drawings and get some feedback as to whether things are actually necessary. So we took that to heart. So we're definitely going to do that as part of the process. We talked a little bit about the configuration of how the vehicles would be inside of the garage. We're going to spend a little bit more time. I think we're going to go back to Cotton and ask them to play around a little bit more with that configuration. We're hoping, the intent is to have this configuration drawing available by the May 10th meeting, so that when we have our public hearing, we'll have something for the public to look at. I think they obviously aren't going to be final drawings, but they're just going to be conceptual drawings, if you will, of what the configuration would look like. And we're going to have that hopefully available by that May 10th meeting.
And that's before the vote, right?
That's a week before the vote. Correct. The vote is scheduled for May 17th.
Lou, has the town of Jamaica cut any checks to Cotton Design at this point?
I don't know, have we?
No,
So they're doing all this for free right now?
right now.
Have you talked to any other designers?
Yes.
Who?
SVE.
Have they volunteered to
Did
produce
they give us
plans?
an estimate?
Approximately twice. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now for this meeting, but I can get them for you. The difference between Cotton and SVE was in the neighborhood of twice as expensive.
SVE was?
I've got the specific numbers, but they have to start from scratch, whereas Cotton can take that and modify a plan, as we suspected earlier, but I did talk as you suggested earlier. They were very nice, by the way, SVE people.
Gave us a couple of good ideas.
They did. But anyway, I don't have the exact numbers, but it was significant.
Has anyone in Wyndham said anything about the floor up there, that they had
No,
trouble
but
with that?
I tried to get in contact with Wyndham. They weren't available. They did send me a voicemail today, leave me a voicemail, and they're going to be around all day tomorrow because of the rain. They're going to be working on their equipment. So Keith and I are going to go over there tomorrow, if we can. Keith and I are going to go up and look at the Goodyville Road Bridge. There's some drainage issues we want to look at. We want to look at it during the course of a rain event. So we're thinking that tomorrow would be a good day to look at that bridge. And then after we're done with that, we're going to go over to Winhall and take a look at and talk to their people. So I'll get more information from Winhall when I go up there tomorrow.
You know, they are talking snow, don't you?
No, not for southern Vermont?
No, it's going to be up north.
Well, according to what I saw.
It probably is now.
Very interesting.
So, thank you very much. Is there anything else you want to add?
Nope. Any other questions anybody has?
I'm just a little confused. Were you referring to Wyndham's garage?
Did I say Wyndham again? I meant Winhall.
Winhall.
You meant Winhall?
Yes.
He was talking about Winhall.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay,
sorry.
so you're talking
I
about.
thought you said the word Winhall.
I'm in Wyndham a lot.
One of those wind buildings, yes. Judy, do you have anything for us?
Well, I'm having problems, I guess, between what goes to the town office and getting information. Is there any way that I can have any of this sent directly to me?
You should have,
It's
well,
not
that's a
even
good point.
addressed to me.
You are the alternate, so you should have gotten a package. All the representatives got a package. You probably should have gotten one too. I'll check and see why alternates didn't get a copy of that package.
Okay, because well, even like the flyers that evidently came, who did that come to, do you know?
Town of
Came to-
Jamaica.
Town of Jamaica? Was it addressed to the select board specifically, or?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Town of Jamaica.
So, the other thing, which is kind of a funny thing, I happened to be up there checking on how the metal was going, and we are trying to get some numbers so that Keith can know how much more of the I-beams he can be putting in. So that's kind of in the mill for the metal that's going out. But in the process of checking, I happened to get out of my car and cut my leg on the tip of the bottom of the door. So we had an emergency first aid drill. And
What door are you talking about?
the door of my car.
Oh, you're.
And we were really surprised how bad the first aid kit was. So now we have a brand new first aid kit and we're ready.
Good, thank you. We didn't have to call Lex.
Not that I had planned an emergency drill, but we did.
Thank you. Andy, do you have anything for us?
No, sir.
No.
Lexa?
No.
I have nothing else.
Motion to adjourn? 9:06.
Seconded?
I hear a second. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Aye, aye. Hearing none, we stand adjourned at 9:06.